Start wearing purple for me now. All your sanity and wits, they will all vanish, I promise. It's just a matter of time.
Hello, world.
Hi.
Our previous studio it's still burnt down. They're working on it, but we're back in the yard.
And it's a beautiful day.
I've tried leaving this yard before. I always come back to the yard.
People try to come in this yard.
Apparently, we just had a crazy person run through here. Maybe with a knife. But this chair leg was stuck a foot in the ground because he used it to leap over the wall.
Yeah. But here we are.
Police were here. But it's beautiful LA. People pay big bucks to live in this beautiful, safe.
And we love it. And
Anyway.
Speaking of crime, action, and comedy, Max, what are we reviewing today?
We're here to talk about the unbearable weight of massive talent, starring Nicolas Cage and
Pedro Pascal?
yeah,
And Tiffany Haddish, Sharon Horgan, and ugly Mark Wahlberg.
ugly Mark Wahlberg,
Not hot Mark Wahlberg.
known for Blockers fame.
Yeah.
I thought the movie Blockers was very cute and funny. I know a lot of people didn't like it.
I thought it was great.
Thought it was good.
Yeah.
I digress. We digress.
Written and directed by Tom Gormican. It's kind of like a meta-satirical action movie about Nicolas Cage where he plays an elevated version of himself and goes on a little quest, I guess.
Yeah,
Right?
that sums it up.
Yeah. What'd you think?
Oh my goodness. We have spoken about this before. Nick Cage, as an actor, is probably one of the greatest actors of all time. Who also, but also is a crazy person and does so many bad movies. And so, over the last 30 years, he's wound up here, where it's like kind of making fun of himself, but they don't go too over the top of making fun of himself.
Yeah.
And I thought at some point he has an alter ego named Nicky, and I thought that was all good. Like, I thought that was well done for crazy Nick Cage. I'm going to keep calling him crazy Nick Cage because he's crazy.
He also is aware he's crazy.
Yeah, it's such a strange mix.
Which I guess is kind of makes him lovable because he's 56 or 57. He's been doing movies for 40 years now, which is wild.
I think he was 23 in Raising Arizona.
Yeah.
And
Great movie.
Again, it's coming out hot.
But it's interesting because everyone told us to go see this that saw it, and when you see a Nicolas Cage trailer, you're like, this could either be a great movie, insanely talented. For some reason, he kind of knocks it out of the park with a lot of indie films.
Yeah.
Then bigger budget, he just doesn't care. Or it could be the worst movie I've ever seen, and I hate him again. But it wasn't. It was pleasant.
It was lovable.
It was lovable. The first 15 minutes were all funny, and it was making fun of Hollywood and actors, and I loved it. Quentin Tarantino was actually supposed to be in it in the beginning, but it got switched out for
True.
David Gordon Green.
Who, if we're going deep not trivia, David Gordon Green wrote that movie that Nicolas Cage is in.
Joe.
Mm-hmm. Wrote and directed that.
Correct.
Perfect. I just wanted to let everybody.
Which Nicolas Cage says is some of his best work he's ever done. And he relates a lot to that character, so they're good friends. Nicolas Cage also handpicked Tiffany Haddish to be in it, which was a fun little fact I learned.
So the thing I didn't like about it is the comedy stuff, the crazy Nick Cage, or not even crazy, this Nick Cage stuff with him and Pedro, all that stuff. Very funny, very lighthearted. I didn't feel mixed with
The serious
stuff. It felt like here's a comedy scene with Nick Cage, he's knocking it out of the park, cut, next scene. It feels like it's just so abruptly a different thing.
Yeah.
And
because it's a very serious situation.
yeah.
And the lines Nick Cage has are funny, and even Pedro has some funny lines, but also I feel like you can't have two men not be straight men. One of them has to be a straight man, is basically what I'm saying, in that moment, because we went to Silly Town for a second, and I was like, this doesn't
Yeah.
It needs a little bit of grounded in reality.
You need a little Jackie Chan and Chris Tucker.
Yeah. Because that's what they always tell us writing comedy is like, you can't go to Silly Town. There always has to be a voice of reason. And the voice of reason was Tiffany Haddish and Not Hot Mark Wahlberg. But their characters, other than like driving the story a little bit here and there, were useless.
Yeah.
Which you brought up.
That is right. I did bring that up. Yes, that whole plot line could have...
We're like, what are we doing here, guys?
There's a different way to write that.
Yeah.
That, again, I like this movie. I tell people to go see it. But in the hands of like a better writer-director situation, there'd be ways to elevate that storyline. It maybe just cut out that storyline and then write a different aspect of Nick Cage's connection to the potential drug cartel.
It was an odd C story, I guess.
Yes.
Of like...
Yes.
They were useless in a way, but they were crucial to the story, which is such an odd...
A classic give them something to do. We need them to do... They're in this story.
And it's funny because the two comedians were playing the straight men in the movie.
Yeah. How about it?
So, that was another little... And a fun fact, which you know too, this is Nicolas Cage's 100th film as a leading role.
And we love him all the more for it.
What a little sweet.
What else? That is sweet. What else do we have? Go see, if you don't know Nick Cage, go see Mandy. Go see The Rock. Go see...
Mom and Dad was good. He's in. It's like a horror.
Oh yeah. Where he's in the basement doing stuff.
Mom
go see Raising Arizona.
I would rewatch Raising Arizona.
Go see not Lost Highway. Oh no, I'm 31 and my brain doesn't work. Wild at Heart.
Fast Times at Ridgemont High.
Honeymoon in Vegas. Anyway, Chandler, this movie was good. Mm-hmm. Maybe some would say that's not a real word. That's my new thing. Like interesting.
I think it was enjoyable.
Enjoyable.
It was a nice...
It was meta. If you don't like meta, don't watch it.
Movies are too long now, suddenly. This movie was like the perfect amount of time.
I hope I've said this in a previous podcast as well.
Yeah. Movies are too long. I'm sick of the director's cuts. I get it. If I wanted to see it, I would buy the DVD or buy it. This was like an hour 30. I wasn't pissed off by the third act. I was ready to get it going. We were moving and grooving. The story kept going.
It knew what it was.
Yeah. I wasn't angry when I left the theater. Seen a couple movies recently. I've been angry leaving the theater because it's 45 minutes of trailers and then 2.5 hours of a movie. And I am like, why did I spend $20 of 3.5 hours of my life?
Well, some would argue spending the money on that amount of time. Why is it low quality? Is the real question.
Why are movies so long? Stop it.
This movie is no comedy.
What producer isn't saying no?
No comedy. No comedy should be longer than an hour and 40 minutes.
Yeah.
At most. Okay.
Moving and grooving. I would say go see it.
Oh, we have to give it a number.
I would give it a 7.5 because I liked it.
7.3.
All right. So 7.4. Go see The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent. It is rated R and it's in theater right now. I don't think it's streaming yet, but it is worth it if you want to just watch a silly movie.
And love Nicolas Cage. I'm committed to the 3. Don't do it. You're going to get us killed.